I really don't know when there was this shift in dating. Like in my mind, men chase women.
Wrong. It's always been wrong. This is the biggest psyop of 2024. It's been going on for so long, and it's quite honestly never really been the case. Girls used to tolerate this back in the day more, but when a girl truly loves a man, she's the one that's chasing, and we just know this to be true. Think about think about any king of the past, or think about any of the most desirable men, right? They're always the one being pursued. Okay. And usually what happens is the girl, when she pursues, it's not exactly like we would as men, right? She'll give the guy a sign or a number of clear indicators, engage the game or play, and the guy plays off of that, right? But make no mistake, he's the more valuable party. She desires him. And this is essentially the most ideal situation for a relationship to occur, anyways. So this is unfortunately, that's what she grew up with. This is programming. It's not real.
Men chase women, women get courted. Okay? That's the end of the story.
Okay, also the days of courtship were back in the day when women were virgins, right? This is well-known fact. The body count numbers have gone up significantly in the last 100 years, okay? So yes, back then when you were courting a woman is because you had to court her to get through the wall of her parents, brothers, grandparents, etc., etc. There's a whole wall to overcome there, right? And there was a whole protection system for women, right, to protect them from themselves. Now you don't have that anymore, and women expect that same courtship process to occur, and it's just not going to be the case. Okay? Hate to say this, but it's not going to be the case.
Nothing drives me more insane than seeing these bum dudes ghost these stunning girls.
Well, there's a reason for it, okay? Let's talk a little bit more about the subjective scenario that you want to exist, okay? So you're going to view it as, oh, these girls are so stunning. They're probably mid. These bum ass dudes, you're saying that because those girls didn't get what they wanted from that guy, and now therefore the guy's automatically at fault. So it's just some more of this man-hating rhetoric that we see over and over and over again in different forms, but hey, here's another great one.
This is absolutely insane. It's insane. This should not be happening.
Well, it's going to keep happening, and this is actually going to keep happening more and more in the coming decades, okay? Especially if this is your attitude. This whole video could be summed up by this facial expression, by the way, guys. You guys got to really pay attention to the facial expressions of women, because even just a few a few different facial expressions can teach you everything you need to know about her, okay? When they haven't gotten over their hardships in the past, or when they try really, really hard to implant or force their subjective reality into actual reality, you get this effect, right? Because instead of acceptance of how the world actually operates, they really want this fantasy to exist at all cost, okay? And then obviously when that fantasy doesn't exist over and over again, instead of accepting and saying, maybe this is not the way the world operates, they're just going to double down, triple down, quadruple down on this fantasy and continue to carry that burden over and over again until they become essentially undateable, unmarriageable, and then they just double down even more and say, oh, I don't need a man anyways. So you can't win here. Just let them be by themselves, go buy a cat, dog, whatever you want, right?
Especially at the rate that this is happening. I hate the word playing games, but it's about time that these gorgeous women take that little deck of cards back into their own hands.
Well, they keep giving it up, right? They give it up when their parents don't care about what they do when they're young. They give it up when they make really, really bad decisions in plenty of scenarios. They give it up when they enjoy constant nightlife, constant drinking, right? Nonstop partying, making inebriated mistakes. Okay, so when girls do this over and over again, they're giving up this deck of cards. So you can't just reclaim it because you feel like it. It doesn't work this way in reality. So I don't know where this delusion keeps coming in. The world doesn't operate how you want it to, okay? And it never will. So accept the consequences of your decisions. And I can guarantee you probably made a few of those mistakes as well.
I think a big problem for this is coming on too strong too soon and worshiping these men for
No, it's nothing to do with that, of course. See, it's all she's nailing every single point, okay? Nothing to do with coming on too strong. It's because you're insufferable, Okay, you're insufferable and you've never worked on yourself and you never take any accountability. This is the main problem here. Okay, nothing to do with worshipping the man too strong. It's not about playing power games. Look, any guy's decent. You start playing these crazy power games, eventually he'll leave if he has any self-worth. Okay, so stop lying to yourself and stop lying to all the girls or the 2 girls that watch your channel.
Doing absolutely nothing. Also clinging to them and being so easily accessible. Stop saying yes.
Once again, power games. I mean, you could play that with some of the weaker guys because they don't have a choice, but some of the better guys are going to catch on to this and not care about this.
To their plans, if they're asking you to come over at 11 p.m. on a random Wednesday, they should be asking you on a date to go out on Thursday.
This is an extreme thing. I mean, I know it happens, obviously. Okay, I get that this happens, but she's using this to paint an extreme scenario that this guy is somehow abusing her and she's just not aware. It's like, look, why are we treating women like children? Okay, you want equality, then act like an adult. If you're an adult, you are able to make adult decisions, so take accountability for the decisions you make. Okay? It's not that complicated. I just don't understand how, like, the amount of cognitive dissonance in one video is honestly infuriating, if I'm being honest.
Night, and they should have asked you that on Monday. I have tried to explain this in like a really like calm, pleasant way before, but it does not seem to be getting through.
Yeah, because it's delusional. That's why it's not getting through. Because what you're saying doesn't make sense. It's just feel good, you go girl stuff, right? There's no actual solutions to problems. There's no long-term fix here. It's just momentary bull to make some girl feel like, yeah, I'm empowered, and then she's gonna do the same thing 10 minutes later anyways. Okay, it's not a long-standing quality message. It's just, quite honestly, bull completely.
Even give these men the opportunity to ghost you because you should be dating multiple people, especially in the beginning when you're seeing somebody. There's no reason for you to be committed to them unless you're an exclusive girlfriend.
Well, unfortunately for you, not everyone can do that, and you yourself probably don't even practice this, so I don't know why you're preaching it. When girls really like a guy, they're all about him, okay? Girls can't really, I mean, yeah, they can see multiple guys early stages when they don't know what's going on, when they're in the dating scene a little bit, but as soon as one guy stands out, they automatically are going to naturally shift all their focus onto that one guy because that is simply how women operate, okay? They're always going to shift their focus onto one guy if he's the best of the flock. Now, if all of them are mid in her eyes, then she won't care about any of them, okay? She's just going to play with all of them until that guy comes into the picture. So understand that when a guy of her standards or a guy that checks all her boxes walks into the picture, all the other guys immediately become obsolete. Okay, this is just the nature of things.
Boyfriend relationship. Now, I'm not saying that you need to sleep with multiple people. I'm not suggesting that. You can do what you want.
Plus, also, you could do what you want. I mean, classic, right? She's basically saying, I'm not telling you to be a hoe, but you can be a hoe if you want to. It's like, it's a classic bullshit message. Like, she's nailing every single talking point for getting views by women to go into the comments being saying, yeah, girl, yeah, girl, yeah. That's all this is, right? It's like trying to get like a tribal buy-in to these societally accepted ideas that are obviously fantasy ideas, but for some reason we buy into them anyways, right? That's all this is. Just trying to drum up support for a broken cause.
I would literally never judge you in a million years, but you are available to date multiple people unless you're in a relationship. So stop acting like these crusty guys.
Also, let's not pretend, right? Like, guys benefit in a modern era. Do guys benefit from relationships? And the answer is no, they don't. Okay, not like in the old days. I mean, I could just go back to my own grandparents as an easy example that I witnessed with my own eyes, right? And they, from a, they're more old school, of course. So for that reason, when I look at them, it's like my grandma was fully willing to do all kinds of stuff for them, like right away out of the gate, right? Like out of the gate, she was doing all kinds of, whether it be house tasks or helping with things and immediately being serviceable, we'll say, okay? And not because she was told to, but because she was willing to do this. So this idea of not being so available and this stuff, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Modern relationships don't really benefit men because girls don't do any of the things that women of 100 years ago did, and they expect like 20x more. So let's just cut to the chase here. What are you talking about? Like, what do guys gain? Like, give me some points. Okay, not what you guys think we gain. What, like, when you ask guys, what did they gain from relationships? Genuinely. I just want to write a list, other than sex, of course, other than this. And unfortunately, the answer is going to be, well, all feelings-based answers with no tangible points. And you see this all the time on the internet. There's all kinds of videos out there proving this case. I don't have to even talk about it too much.
Guys you owe the world to, need to drop everything every time they want to see you, deserve your time. Because the fact is, when they realize that you're so accessible 24/7, drop you like a fly. I promise you. Human nature.
Women projecting what they do onto men. That's exactly what she's doing. She's projecting what she would do as a woman onto men, thinking men think the same, and that's what they do, right? Beautiful display of mental gymnastics right here.
Sadly, unfortunately, enjoys a little bit of a chase. And that's probably why you like these guys that are ghosting you, because you're making...
Sadly, it's in human nature, like you just said, right? It's in your nature to want somebody that's of higher perceived value than you are, which means that for you to really be satisfied, you have to feel like you're chasing at least a little bit, okay? You know, don't blame men. It's the old stupid saying, don't hate the player, hate the game. You know, you can blame God all you want if you want, blame nature, whatever your religion is, right? I'm just saying, accept it. It's easier than to just fight this whole game, and, you know, all these copes, they wear down on you over time. Just accept it, okay? But there's plenty of things that I, as a man, have to accept myself, right? So I think it's time that girls started to accept some of these things and stop buying into a fantasy that does not exist, especially if they're not willing to do their end of the bargain.
Up in your head all these amazing qualities that they have that you've never even seen, just because you don't know them enough. So please stop giving these crusty men the time of day.
Tell us more about how beat down you are by a dating market that didn't give you what you wanted. Tell us some more, please.
Enjoy yourself, enjoy your friends, enjoy dating multiple people. Don't cling on to guys too fast, and just be smart about this.
So what about the girls that actually want to have a long-term partner and families and all that stuff? Does this advice apply to them? I'll tell you right now, it doesn't.
You need to drop a guy. You need to just drop him if he's doing these things. Okay, trust me. If he's only texting you late at night to see you.
Notice that the answer is always just break up with them. That's always the answer for these girls. So just leave them. Just leave them. Doesn't matter what case. Just leave them. It's always just leave them. I mean, when guys watch this video, I don't know how they can have any level of confidence in a woman, like, staying at all, when this is all they're pumped with all day long, right? I mean, there is no reason. That's the truth, okay? There's no reason to believe that a girl will stay. And a lot of girls have friends that are exactly like this in their ear nonstop, right? They're just perpetual haters, because in their worldview, the woman must dominate, okay? And if that woman is not dominating the situation, they don't care. They're looking and praying for your downfall, and they will be there till the bitter end, talking bad about you until something happens where it finally gets cut off, and it is what it is. They're going to cave, right? Girls are social creatures, and their support network is important to them, and they won't always make decisions in line with only what they want and know is best. If those people don't have their best interests in mind, there's no chance for you. I'm just going to be real with you. There's no chance for you. Most girls these days have friends like this girl around. You can see all the problems that causes.
Not asking you on real dates. Yep. And if he hasn't spoken to you in 2 weeks, no text, no call, no. If he's on his phone a lot when you're together, also no. I could literally tell you 1,000 more, but the thing that I really want you to take away from this video is that you're valuable, and you do not need to be desperately clinging to these men that don't deserve you. Thanks.
It's always the same. How much you want to bet that this girl was going through some of her own issues and decided to come to TikTok and vent? And you know how I know? Because I've seen it. Even in my own personal life, I've seen it, right? And it's funny how they spin the narrative versus the actual events. But whatever, it doesn't matter. You as a guy are never going to win anyways. So have a vent sesh, sister. You know, go ahead. Vent away. If you like my content, you want to support me, make sure to check out my Patreon in the description below. I have tons of private content there, and you get to interact directly with me.